Episode of Behind the X's and O's of Business. Give me 1 second. I'm setting up the live stream Riverside. We are live here. What's up, Facebook and YouTube? We are live once again with another show of Behind the X's and O's of Business. I'm excited about tonight's live stream because this is kind of the kickoff or the launch of a new series that I plan on doing. Every first and third or second and fourth Wednesday of the month. This month we actually got guests every Wednesday except for last Wednesday, and so I'm excited about the guests that we have. But let me tell you a little bit about what my plans are for the show. That way you can know if you want to tune if you want to tune out away, or if you want to kind of stick around and get to know our guests for the evening. But my idea behind the live stream was to kind of have some behind the scenes conversations with local businesses and organizations and leaders here in the Abilene area, and will extend, to wherever, we have people that are willing to sit down and talk to me. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of have some conversations that are behind the social media posts, behind the highlight reels, behind the business card, and behind the logos of the organizations and businesses that we do business with every day. And like the message here behind me, it says every business has a story worth hearing. And I believe that 100%. I think that most people, they just want to be able to, feel seen. They want to be able to tell their story, because there's a lot that goes on that, I know, especially us like business owners, it's, to me, I feel like the magic really happens behind the scenes. Most people will kind of like categorize you based on the service that you provide. And so, for example, my wife and I, we are owners and operators of Red Alpha Custom Prints, and we provide print services in wide format, digital printing like direct to garment and direct to film, embroidery. We also do small format type printing like business cards and brochures, order forms, and things of that nature. And so we got a broad range of services that we offer to our community. But most of the time, people just get to know us as the banner guy, or the vehicle wrap guy, or the sign girl, or something like that. That's who we are. And I'm curious to kind of before I even get started, how am I saved in your phone? If you're connected to the Riverside app, or even if you're on Facebook or whatever, put in the comments how you have my number saved on your phone. I'm curious. Am I the business card guy? Am I the banner guy? Am I Brother Ruben for some of you old school people that we used to work in ministry with? Am I your brother? Am I your dad? How how's it? I know my wife. She's a baby doll in my phone, and I don't even know her real name. I just call her baby doll, and she responds. So I guess I got the name right. But how is my number saved in your phone? That's a good question for the audience. And because a lot of times that's what we're typecast on. We're known as the services that we provide, and it's rare that people like take any interest outside of the services that you provide. And it's nothing wrong with people necessarily. I mean, it's just everybody's got busy lives. We're all trying to put food on the table and do the best that we can to make ends meet, and move to the next level, and that kind of deal. And so we don't have time to sit and have a long conversation with everybody that we come into contact with. I understand when you guys, most of the time when you're ordering a banner from us or whatever it is, you're on a time crunch. And so you usually tell us right away. You say, "Hey, I need a banner printed, and I need it by this date. Can you do it?" And we say, "Certainly." And then and then we try to make it happen to the best of our ability, right? And then so it doesn't leave a lot of time to like, "Hey man, how's it going? How's life? How's life treating you?" And really get to know people. But I try to do it anyway. I try to do it anyway. I try to sit there and just it's not like me talking. I just try to lend an ear to anybody that I come into contact with. And what I found is that people just aren't used to other people being interested in what they got to say, right? And so people kind of like, they hold back a little bit, but when they see that you're actually like listening and interested in what they have to say, they tend to open up a little bit. And that's what I try to do. And that's actually kind of what birthed the Behind the X's and O's. Like, the idea behind it is just giving people the opportunity to tell their story. It doesn't matter what it is, especially if we're part of it. But what I want to do is I want to host at least two of these live stream shows every month, and have a different guest every month, and not from the same industry. Like this week we have the folks from Not Included Car Club here in Abilene. They're here to introduce themselves and to talk a little bit about what they got going on here in the community, things like that. And so we have some questions that we sent out to them so that they could be prepared to answer. But then, it's just really just a conversation between people. And hopefully, if you are someone out there who is into the car club scene, or if you're not, and you've always been interested on maybe like, how to get involved with your local car club, which car club might be best for you, and maybe it's the type of vehicles that the majority of the car club that they have, the builds that they have, and maybe it's just because there's a car club I think for just about every age group here in Abilene. And and so I know whenever we went to the last car show, there was a group of older gentlemen that were part of that, and I thought it was cool. I was like, man, that's something. Not that I'm a spring chicken anymore, but it's something to look forward to whenever I get to retirement age. Maybe I'll just go out and get me a build and hang out with some of these people with the local car club if they'll have me, right? But in the meantime, I want to have some meaningful conversations, with people here in the area, and just see if we can't, bring some, kind of introduce these guys to anybody who might be listening on TikTok or on YouTube, or on our Facebook page. But then also for their community, right? Maybe you guys are looking for someone to be your banner guy, and maybe you're looking to get your vehicle wrapped or whatever the case may be. It's like we're happy to be that person. And so if this is my first time meeting you, it's good to meet you. We are located here in Abilene, right off of North 10th and Hickory. The address is 933 Hickory. You can find us online, on pretty much every social media channel, the main ones, right? We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. What else? Google My Business, and we don't got Chat GPT. We don't have what's that other one? Snapchat. We don't have Snapchat. I just really haven't found a way to use Snapchat, but is Snapchat even around anymore? But we're on those other ones, and we're pretty interactive. And so if you send us a message or direct message, through any one of those, I'm usually pretty responsive on those. And and so here in a few minutes we're going to have we're going to have the vice president and president of the Not Included Car Club, and then maybe one or two of the other members. I'm looking for them to send me a message here, just in case they're having any trouble. My wife is the producer today. Can you believe that? She's the producer, and I just got a message from one of the guys. They're getting ready to join, and so they're just running a little bit behind. But that's the reason why I started a little bit early, so that way I can get all of the all the preliminaries out of the way, all of the announcements, like we used to say at church. Get all the announcements out of the way, so now we can get into the meat and the of the conversation. And so, yeah, that's really the whole idea of the Behind the X's and O's of business. Is we wanted to just kind of I know that there's a lot of people out there doing it, so I'm not trying to be the next this guy or the next that person, right? I just, I'm genuinely interested in the community, and I wanted to figure out a way to just sit down and talk to people, from all walks of life in our community here in Abilene, because Abilene is growing, and so, there's a lot going on that, if you were born and raised here in Abilene, you'd be surprised at all the new stuff and all the new people that are coming to Abilene, whether it's, to work, or it's school, or, coming to Abilene to open up a business, whatever. Abilene is growing. And so in my opinion, it's a great time to be a part of Abilene because of the growth. And so, if you're a local business owner, one of the things that you definitely want to do is you want to make sure that you are connected to the community. And let's see who we got. Oh man, so we got Chino, and looks like Samuel's coming in here in a second.
Yeah, Sam should be hopping in soon.
How are
Um,
you, Chino?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. I was just kind of letting everybody know, just kind of getting all the announcements out of the way. And this is not our first, but it's like uh, I guess we're kind of reformatting the Behind the X's and O's live stream,
Gotcha.
and so I'm pulling it away from a blog that it was a daily blog that I have on our website, and it's just kind of similar conversations, but in written form, like a 5 minute read.
Right.
And it's not really business advice, but it's just kind of like things that most people don't really talk about. And and so that's really kind of the like what I'm going for with the live stream is just kind of have these types of conversations with local organizations like you guys, the car club, give you a chance to kind of really honestly, I mean, introduce yourself to me because I don't know you that well.
Right.
I've been working with Samuel over the last couple of years, printing y'all's banners for the shows.
Right.
And so I told Samuel, I said, man, this year I'm going to have to set up a booth because it just makes a lot of sense for me to like kind of rub elbows with the people that do business with me.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and I was telling people, before you jumped on, I said, a lot of people just know me as the banner guy or the sign guy or the guy that you buy business cards with or something like that. And I was curious how they had my number saved on their phone. Wonder if it was my name or the banner guy because I
Right.
was just curious about that. But a lot of times that's what happens, right? You get kind of typecast into like whatever service that you provide or
Right.
the kind of car that you drive or where you work, things like
Right.
that. And then people rarely take the time to get to know the real you, right?
Right. Yeah,
And,
definitely.
and so I know whenever you and I were messaging on Messenger, you said something like, for people to kind of like know what the people are like in the car club, because I don't know if people get different ideas of car clubs or whatever, but I've always looked at it as just people who are into cool cars and that's what they're into. They're passionate about it and never really made any judgment on car clubs just because it's a car club. It's a now motorcycle clubs is another thing. I don't know, but
Yeah.
car
But
clubs is something different.
MCs operate in like a different kind of I guess realm, you could say. They're in a little bit different bracket, if you will. But like car clubs not necessarily have a stigma, but just sometimes car culture or car enthusiasts as a whole end up carrying that stigma, like you said, get typecasted into these certain like labels and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so oftentimes people see certain things online with certain behavior, reckless driving, et cetera, so on, and then they just associate it, with all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
see all they see is the loud rear wheel drive sports car doing donuts on TikTok in the intersection, and so they assume that we all do the same stuff. And it's like, no, there's levels to it. There's different areas and different aspects. And at the end of the day, a true car enthusiast is generally in this culture because they love cars, they love working on them, they love seeing them, or they love photographing them, videoing them, and they just love the culture as a whole. And it's a beautiful culture. It's crazy how quickly you'll become friends with somebody or be having dinner at someone's house just from meeting them at a car meet and then finding out like, oh, this is a really cool person, like, you know, as a whole. So
Yeah, yeah, I get that. And so a little disclaimer to the MC guys, I was just joking. They're my customers as well. I just kind of
right.
threw that out there just because I don't know. I just nervous or something.
Well, a lot of them are
But
really
yeah,
good folks too. We've even done a couple things with some local groups and stuff. And at the end of the day, when you really boil it down, we're all still just people. And a lot of those groups are still they're doing good things. They're doing charities. They're doing fundraisers. And you know, so some people might judge them based on the lifestyle, but then at the end of the day, they're still doing good deeds. You know,
yeah,
so
yeah, for
like
sure. Yeah, and you can find good people and bad people in every area.
everywhere.
So you can't really stereotype anybody.
Exactly.
But man, I appreciate you taking the time, Samuel. I see that you joined. I just don't see your face.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
having to do this mobile, so I'll have to have my camera off for a little bit.
Okay, no problem. I can hear you there for sure. So Samuel, man, thank you for the opportunity, actually for introducing me to Chino here. Man, it's I really appreciate you guys taking the time to kind of visit with me. And Chino, I sent you some questions, really just kind of like questions to break the ice. But I wanted to give you Samuel, or I don't know if Blaine's going to be able to jump on, but give you guys just an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to anybody who might be listening. We're also going to distribute this to all our social media channels afterwards, and we're going to give it to you so that you guys can do your thing as well. Chop it up, and you guys make some good videos, so I'm excited to see what you guys do. Uh,
Appreciate it.
but give you an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to anybody who might be tuning in, and kind of go from there.
Perfect.
So Tino, you're the vice president of Not Included Car Club here in Abilene, Texas. Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and maybe a little bit about the car club?
Yeah. So I guess a little bit about myself. I've been in Abilene for a while. I wouldn't say I'm an Abilene native, but I've definitely been here for quite a while now. It's definitely my city. Been into the car culture. I've been into cars since I was a kid. Obviously, that's how a lot of us get into this, Um, like I always playing with Hot Wheels, Lego cars, whatever. And then, I really got deep into the culture probably in my late teens. And so I would say I've been involved with the culture directly for about 10 plus years or so. And then as far as Not Included, it really just started as kind of a movement about 4 or 5 years ago. A couple of my buddies, we got together and we just kind of wanted something a little bit different. We felt that a lot of the common car culture was kind of moving towards away from its core values. Because to me, at least, in the way that I've always interpreted it, and growing up in this car culture, it's always been about creating something, building something, improving what you have and being proud of what you have. And it started to really shift into being more about money and clout and, oh, if you're not driving this brand new, this or that, this isn't, they're not respecting the older cars, they're not respecting a project, they're not respecting like people's work, not everything is everyone's taste. You might see something that's not your taste, but I still respect the work. I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. I respect that. And so that's what we wanted to try and switch was try and push more towards a positive car culture that was more about being involved in the culture and being involved with your build, being involved with the people rather than just, oh, I've got the fastest, the loudest, the coolest, the most expensive, that
Yeah,
was really a lot of the reasoning behind Not Included and why we started it. And that was kind of the play on words because we're all inclusive. We allow everything from bikes, cars, trucks, whatever, lowered, lifted, base builds, horsepower builds, all that. And the name is Not Included, but everybody is. And it was made because we had felt at that point we weren't included in the culture because it was pushing a lot of the true enthusiasts out and focusing more on clout and popularity.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, we were back in the day. It was kind of like the outcast, like it in schools you had the athletes, and then
Hmm.
you had the people who, like me, believe it or not, I had long hair. I was listening to heavy metal and doing that stuff. But I was also in ROTC, and I just had friends in different categories, so I really didn't fit in any particular one.
Right.
And I've always been like that. It's just like just friends in every area that I can. And I just look at people as people. And for those who can kind of see me just as a person and not just, whatever you see with your eyes, we typically kind of get along, and you kind of find that kind of classification in everywhere you go. In business, if you're part of a church community, it's the same thing. Even, whenever we would uh, go to Mexico when I was a kid, visiting family, we're Americans over there, but then over here, we're Mexican American, right? And so it's like, it's just categories and everywhere you go, and, I was in the military. And so there's a category there, and all sorts of stuff. But I get it, man. There's people who just wanted to be there, be part of the culture, and like true enthusiasts, and other people that are just looking for the Instagram pic or something like
Right.
that. I
Right.
get that. I get that. Samuel, what would you add to that maybe attracted you to the car club, and what keeps you like showing up, I guess.
I owe my car passion to my dad. My dad's always worked on cars. He's always had cars that I thought were cool. The first car I remember him having was like a 2000 RSX, and to me, looking back at it, it's a four-cylinder, but to me as a kid, like that was the coolest car in the world because it had racing seats in it, and it
Okay.
was a five-speed manual. And now he's had Mustangs since, and because of him, I think I was like, you know what, cars are kind of cool. And I wasn't really into the car scene till I got my Focus when I was in college. And that's kind of when I re-linked up with Tony or Chino, whoever's talking to him. They call them different names. But because me and Chino went to high school together and we had classes together, and then he left schools and I graduated, and we kind of went our separate ways for a while. And one time we were at I started going to the meets back when they were at Kmart, long time ago. And those meets ended up getting shut down because people were bad image. People were being stupid. And so they relocated it. There was a guy who had a tattoo shop. He was like, well, this got shut down, but I have a spot. We can do it over here. And the only thing is, it was just a super small parking lot. And that's when I went up to Chino. I was like, hey, we need to do something different. And he's like, all right, bet. And so the next week, he sent me a flyer. It was like the goofiest Photoshop flyer you've ever seen. And it was, we met at Walmart and did our
Yes.
that I would consider that not included first official Meet Cruise meet. You know, he's been around a lot longer. They didn't really do a whole lot of meets back in the day when it first started in 21, but this was like I think
Right.
it was 23 back then. And then I hopped in and Chino's like, you know what, I got a spot. So I was like, all right. And then ever since then, I've been fully on board with it because I enjoy it and it's fun. And you get to meet a lot of people, meet a lot of really good people.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, you actually do a really good job every year. You kind of you touch base with me, just kind of let me know what the show is going to take place. And I want to thank you guys, for just allowing us to be a part of it. Even if it's over the past years with just printing banners, it's cool to be a part of something that's doing some good work. And I know there's a lot more than just the car show. I know you guys got, there's you're raising funds for a particular thing, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to do that. But first, I just want to let you know, thank you for that. But before we get into the what the car show is about, I wanted to talk a little bit about the meets. Like whenever you guys show up to meet, what can if a new person is looking to be a part of the Not Included, what can they expect from the meet and greets?
So we like you said, we have the show that we do, and then we often host car meets. One thing that we do want to get back onto doing that we used to do regularly was a meet and eats, but and that's essentially where we all get together and have a meet a little bit earlier before the actual car meet that we host at 9, and go to a local restaurant and break bread with each other. It helps build community, it helps build bonding, and it also helps support local businesses. We don't want to do these at corporate places. We want to support the local shops because when we show up like that, we're showing up anywhere from 15 to 30 people deep, and we can help them make a couple grand in a night. But as far as like the traditional car meets, we host them at 9 o'clock every Saturday. We rotate locations. And that's simply one, just to kind of give a bit of variety so things don't get stale. Also, just to kind of help with that bond with the public, because if we're always doing it in one spot, people that live around there, whatever, they might get frustrated with the traffic or the noise. But if we're rotating, it's like, hey, yeah, we're out here Saturday, but you won't see us again for another 6 weeks, and then we'll come back. But typically, with our meets, it's all sorts of different kinds of builds. One of my daily driver doesn't even have fenders on it, but it's slammed to the ground and drags the frame. So you got stuff like that, and then you've got some guy like the I'm sure y'all have seen it around town, but the black Lambo, Greg, great dude. So you'll have everything from $250,000 car to $500 Kelly Blue Book value. You know what I mean? So there's always a variety, and there's trucks, there's bikes. It's always a good vibe. One of our people, they come out with a snow cone truck and have snow cones. So there's always different stuff. We used to have a barbecue truck. I don't know where he's been at, but for a while there, you could come to the meet, get dinner, get something sweet, and have a good time.
I think I know a barbecue food truck that might be interested if they're listening. So I'll connect you guys if there's a spot. But are you saying that I got a chance with my 2013 Toyota Corolla?
Absolutely. Actually, I love Corollas.
That's my daily driver right there, man. And I wrapped the hood, and I'm thinking about wrapping the rest of it, But
Sweet.
it's just it's weird because I'll do everybody else's, but my own just got the hood wrap, So
I hear that.
It's weird, but hopefully one day. But you guys did something recently with a coffee shop, didn't you? Like where you guys showed up at a coffee shop?
So Sam could actually give a little more info on that.
What was that all about, Sam?
We've always thought about doing a cars and coffee. It's big in the car scene, and so we have a really good connection with the VFW. That's where we do our car show at, and so Tony got permission for us to do the meet there. And so I started reaching out to a few of the local coffee trucks. It's like a food truck, but they serve coffee. And this one, we actually had their coffee at a car show recently, and I enjoyed it. And so I just reached out, told them like, hey, we want to do a monthly cars and coffee. This is something we're just starting up. Do y'all want to be on board? And it was the Farmhouse ABI, and they were all for it. They're like, yeah, we'll 100% go, and we'd love to grow this with you. And the first one's a little small, but the coffee truck, they still had a blast. They were still able to make some money off of it, and they really seemed to enjoy what we were doing.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really nice being able to work with people locally, and then also like just with the cars and coffee, it's a different energy than the Saturday night meet. Nighttime meet, while we do have a little bit more relaxed vibe, it's still nighttime and it's still a car meet. So, it's a little bit more high energy. The cars and coffee is nice because it's in the morning, it's during the day, it's not as hot. You can come out, get you a coffee, relax, pull out a lawn chair and just chill and just enjoy the cars, enjoy the people. And so it's a really nice vibe and a really nice energy. It's a little bit of a, yin and yang to the Saturday night meets, and then having something that's refreshing, once a month, and it gives something for people to look forward to,
That sounds really cool. I'm gonna have to meet those guys because every Monday I have a podcast that I call the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday, and basically it's I'll go if I go out of town, I'll buy a coffee mug and I'm drinking coffee. So I'm gonna have to hit up the Farmhouse ABI and see if maybe I can't buy some of their coffee and give them a shout out on next Monday. See how that goes. So send me their contact information. I'll give them a call and give them a shout out definitely on our show this coming Monday if they're available. Yeah. But so the next thing that I had here, Chino or Sam, is what has been the biggest challenge that you have faced, with either the not included car club itself or growing and connecting the car club culture to the general public.
Sam, you got anything on that real quick?
I think the hardest thing for us is when we started was a lot of people didn't like what we were doing. Everyone had their opinion, and they tried to give us advice, and what we found out is we just kept doing what we wanted to do, and that seems to be what's working, is basically going against all the suggestions we had
I think
when we first started.
Everything that people told us not to do, we did the exact opposite of that, and it was successful. So that's definitely been a hurdle for us. And then as far as I think for me personally, one of the hardest things, like he said, one is, people developing their opinions, things like that, but also trying to break that mold, trying to break that outcast mold, or break the mold that they kind of the box that people put you in, and trying to show that, hey, look, we're after something different here. We're after growth and community involvement and trying to heal the culture, not just chasing clout or trying to be the biggest or the baddest, whatever. Because none of that really matters to us. To me, at the end of the day, if you don't nurture it, it doesn't grow, right? And so if I want this culture to be passed down to the next generation, the generation after that, we've got to be proactive, and we got to be trying to break the mold to try and show that, hey, look, this is something positive, because every day, and monthly, yearly, everything. I mean, there's new legislation being passed that inhibit modifications on cars, different laws being passed to crack down on, albeit necessary for some of the activity, it also still affects the little guy, or affects the people that aren't associated with that. And so it's important for us to continue to grow the culture in a positive note, so that way society in general can kind of understand that, look, yeah, you may not like how loud they are. Yeah, they might have a little bit of fun on the back roads here and there at night. But listen, at the end of the day, we're still people. There's good people in it, and we want good to come out of it, because it keeps a lot of people out of trouble too. A lot of these young kids, they get involved in this, and instead of being out on Friday, Saturday night drunk at some random house, they're in the garage wrenching with their buddies, building something, being productive, learning.
Yeah, yeah, and nobody talks about that. Nobody talks the good things that you do, and the the kid that you kind of become family to, keep him out of trouble. And I mean, I'm all for that, and not everybody is really cut out to, I hate to say this because I grew up in church, and I have a lot of friends, and my heart's still there, but not everybody's cut out for that. You know what I mean? And so, but that doesn't mean that they can't go to a car club like yours, and be steered in the right direction, and kicked off the streets, so to speak. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing. But I was wondering, of those people that tried to give you advice in the beginning, were they did you find that they were people who actually didn't do it themselves, and they were just kind of giving you their opinion based on what they didn't understand, or were they actually car people?
I'll be honest, that's a slightly loaded question, in the sense that, in one hand, there were definitely some individuals that I feel like didn't even have our best interest in mind. That caused that was definitely one of those things where we're just like, yeah, appreciate the advice, but I think we got this. And then the other end was just, again, it was people that never necessarily did exactly what we've done, and they just kind of go off of what they've seen around and what they think works for, I guess, the stuff that the shows and the events that they associate with, not understanding that what we're doing is a little bit different flavor, different style. So what works for that is great. It works for that. That's awesome. And I love that. And those events and shows have a place, and they're beautiful. But what we're trying to do is something a little bit different that doesn't fit the mold locally. And so we're going to have to do that our own way. We're going to have to pioneer that ground. And so while we'll take the advice to definitely apply it to the thought process, at the end of the day, we're going to do what we feel is right, what we know is right, and what we know that works.
Yeah, yeah. The reason why I asked that, because I know whenever we first started, I was getting a lot of advice from people who never really went into business for themselves, you know,
Right.
and it was like, maybe they cared about me and they didn't want me to, like, crash and burn, and they didn't want me to lose everything or whatever. And I
Right.
get that. I get that. But if someone's actually done what I'm trying to do, their advice is, in my opinion, is more valuable to me, because they know where I'm trying to go, and they're kind of trying to help me out. But someone who's never been there and is just maybe they were too afraid to do it themselves, and they're trying to keep me from from making a mistake, or failing. It's hard for me to take that type of advice if they've never been down the road that I'm trying to travel on. And I
Absolutely.
didn't know I didn't know if you guys came across anything like that, or if it was just something completely different.
Definitely had that, a little bit of that throughout it. I will say there are, and like you said, there are some people that were in the field, because we've kind of gone, and we've got our hands in a few different pots, and so we've gotten some advice from people that were in the field, and in that field that we were focused on at the time, and giving solid advice. And then, but to your point, there are definitely have been some people that didn't never really done what we've done, and so it's kind of hard to heed that advice when you haven't done it.
And welcome to the land of the living, Samuel. I can see your face now. I was
Yeah, I
looking at
finally got home.
I was looking at a blank screen. I was like, is he really there, or is it AI talking to me?
Pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. I was like, man, that's pretty good. You answered my question right on point. Uh, so tell me more about the car show and the how you guys serve the community through the car show itself.
What you got,
I know
Sam?
this is y'all's fourth year, right? The fourth year of having the Bops and Builds.
Yeah, the first one, we were so nervous. We had no idea. Like, I think the club was super official for like 6 months when we did this, so we had no idea what we were doing. And we got hooked up with, Chino knows their names. They were like a small entertainment company. Who am I thinking of?
Man, all I can
TMZ.
remember is our DJ, Garen. Man, he killed it that night. That's all
Yeah,
I
funny.
can only remember, Garen.
And Garen DJ'd our first one, and funny enough, we met him at a bar. He was DJing, but I still cross paths with him when I'm getting my haircut, and he still talks, and we still help him out. But this show really started with, luckily enough, the VFW was willing to let us use their spot, and because the first three shows went to Hunters for Heroes, which helped veterans with PTSD and homeless veterans. And so, the VFW's fully supported us the whole time, which we're super grateful for. It's such a good spot for shows. You have pavement, you have grass, and you have a pavilion with bathrooms and shade, which is super important during the summer. And then this
Playground
year
for
we
the
were
kids.
able to shift our donation to go directly to them because we feel like we owe them. So this year the money will directly go towards the Abilene VFW, which to us is super important. Me and Chino both came from military families, and a lot of the people in the club have.
Right.
Being in Abilene, a lot of people around here have military families.
There's a lot of active military that's in the club as well. We have a very strong connection with that. And I guess it could be a little bit more personally biased, like what Sam said, come from military family. Half of the admins have military family. So it's definitely like it hits kind of close to home, but it's beautiful to be able to have an opportunity to assist those in need. We've done, while Bops and Builds is our flagship event that we've done for 4 years or going on 4 years now. We used to do about 2 to 3 shows a year, and we've done to help benefit the Merkel Volunteer Fire Department. We raised some money for them. We got to what was that? I can't remember the other one. I just slipped my mind, but we've done. It's been really great to be able to not only help the community, but again help bridge that gap to show that, look, again, this car culture, we were about these cars and things like that, and you might have these negative connotations, but at the same time, like, we can also use our publicity, and we can use the strength and the numbers that we have to do something positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've also done we've done food drives for
Yes.
um
Did a school
the
supplies drive as well.
yeah, we did a school supplies drive. We've assisted in a backpack drive with some of the other local people. We've done, we do every Halloween, almost every Halloween we do
Did a trunk or treat.
a trunk or treat to give back to the kids. That's really what it's about, is the community.
See, that's stuff that you just don't hear about.
Right.
You don't really know that that's what car clubs do. And I'm not saying that everybody does the same thing, but like, I would have never known that had I not invited you guys here, to kind of get to know you guys a little bit better. But that to me, like, just makes, like, kind of motivates me to want to be a part of it even more and tell more people about it. I know that this is going to be our first year setting up, and I'm going to try to, do some things to kind of draw some attention to us, but maybe to the event as well. Like, I'm planning on doing a live install,
Yes.
probably a hood install, and something that's easy that I don't get in over my head, but do an install and just kind of attract anybody that might be interested in looking at that. and kind of go from there. But I mean, shoot, just the fact that you guys are come from military families. I was in the military, and so it's weird how it just seems to be like a magnet. Like if all the military people just seem to kind of gravitate to each other, and people that I just met, on first transaction, calling me brother and things like that. It's pretty cool, man. That's also a good community to be a part of, and
Absolutely.
it's good that you guys are kind of grew up in it. It's
Absolutely.
pretty cool. So it's going to benefit the VFW. Do you guys have like something set up so that people, if they wanted to make a donation, they can make a donation to that, either to the car club or to the event itself? Do you have something in place for that?
So we actually don't have any way for them to just make it like a direct monetary donation. But because the way we do it is the vehicle registration fee is the fundraising. But we have had individuals, I've had it 2, 3 years in a row now where they'll show up and they will donate cash at the event, or they'll pay to register their vehicle but not enter the show. So if that's something that, if someone is interested in wanting to donate to the cause but doesn't necessarily have the time or want to stick around, they're more than welcome to come up and do a registration for the vehicle and then go about their business, or come and make a cash donation day of. That's absolutely, that would be beneficial.
And here in a bit, we're going to get your, all your social media channels, so that way we can attach it to the posts that we make and all that. That way, if anybody wants to connect with you guys, outside of the live stream, they can do so. And but I do have something that is probably pretty corny, but I'm going to do it anyway. It was I'm calling it, and this is a test to see if it works, but I call it the lightning round of the live stream, right? Where I'm just going to ask you guys some random questions. They're not like a total surprise because I sent you the question, but whoever wants to answer it, just kind of let me know, so that way we can kind of get to know a side of you guys that maybe nobody knows. So the lightning question number one: coffee or energy drink?
I'm both.
Energy drinks.
I'm both. It
Energy
depends
drinks is
on
my go-to.
energy drinks, definitely the go-to, but the weekends are like, I don't know, midday, a coffee just be hitting.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of energy drinks do you guys go to?
Ghost, C4, Red Bull.
Oh,
Red Bull and Monster is kind of my go-to. I usually stick with Red Bull.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I put here Ford, Chevy, or something else.
Sam, what you got on that one?
They all know me. I'm a Ford guy. That's all I've ever owned.
Is
I'll have
there
to
any
be honest.
rivalry in there?
Huh?
Is there any rivalry for the Ford guys and the Chevy guys within the car club or anything like that?
I mean, that's kind of been like, I guess, a classic trope for years, and it still goes on, but we don't really see it a whole lot now. It's more, hey, who built a better car? That's kind of what it comes down to. Me personally, though, I'm not a big American car guy. Everything me and my fiance own is all Japanese except for my Lincoln and my Neon. But everything else, we just got a bunch of Hondas.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Did you have a neon? Was it in the World of Builds car show by any chance?
No, that was my Lancer, the black one without the fenders. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Because I did see a neon, and I was like, and so my son came in from
Oh,
Austin, and
yeah.
and I was like, he said, "Do you remember this car?" And back then, it's not something that we would have thought of, like fixing it up or anything. It was our family car,
Yeah.
30 something years ago, 20 something years ago when we had it. And he's like, "Do you remember this car?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I sure do, man. And check it out."
I
Now it's in the car show.
I could go on. So the neon you're talking about, it's an orange one. It's a SRT4. So it's a performance version of that second gen neon. I can go on and on about it, but my favorite thing about that car is from factory you could get a stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3 build. So from the dealership, if you wanted to, they would put bigger injectors, a bigger turbo, and a new tune. And those things were making almost 300 wheel horsepower on a front wheel drive car back in
What?
2001. Those
That's
things are
crazy, man.
sleepers.
Yeah, yeah. Ours was a '97. It was a
Oh,
'97
first
neon.
gen, like the one I've got, it's a 2-door. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It definitely was, man. So the next question: favorite local restaurant? who you guys want to shout out or?
There's a lot of good ones, but I think a lot of us really like Winchesters.
I do like
Okay.
Winchesters. Me though, I'm always gonna go Asian, and it's in between either Crew Thai, which is like amazing. If you've never had Crew Thai, you got to go check her out on Leggett and Seventh. Amazing
Okay.
food. That or Mian Bistro, they kill it. Their pho is amazing. Their ramen's amazing. I haven't had a bad meal
Yeah.
from them yet.
Man,
Yeah,
we're
both
gonna
those
come check it
places are
out.
super good.
Hmm.
Really, we're definitely gonna have to check that out. We haven't had dinner yet, so maybe we'll go out there and
Hell
check
yeah.
out one of those restaurants. Thank you for doing that. So outside of, I guess the car show, I put here outside of work, but um, do you have any other hobbies besides building cars?
Me, uh, partially a hobby, but partially like our job with the production, but filming and working on cars. That's what I do outside of work, and I work on cars.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filming.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a great job, like filming, man. Both of those, I mean, that's like movie trailer, in my opinion, movie trailer like level stuff, man. And I was actually gonna try to get with you guys to maybe help me with like an intro for both of our things, like for this one, with the behind the X's and O's, and then also the Mugshot Monday, kind of an intro, so that way, it could be a little bit more legit, But watching y'all stuff, man, it's amazing what you guys are doing.
Really appreciate that. That means a lot. He's not on the podcast. I wish he could have, but our senior videographer and editor, Ashwin, he puts in the work. That kid has spent hours in the studio. I mean, well past when I'm fixing to go to bed. The studio's at my house, and he'll be working in there, and I'm like, dude, you got to go home. And he's like, man, I got to finish this. Man, I got to finish this. And he puts in a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's cool. So, last question, and this is more of a fun fact, but is there anything about you that nobody knows? Like,
Ooh,
for
man.
example, me, most of the people don't know that I'm left-handed.
You're left-handed. Okay.
Left-handed, yeah, yeah.
Sam,
And
I know you got something.
I don't know. I feel like, after me and Chino started doing this, we get people that we don't know us. So it's hard to think of what someone might not know about us at this point.
I'm gonna think. I
wow.
gotta have something good. Hold on.
Are both of you guys right-handed, or uh, something that you got, a special talent that you got that maybe nobody knows about?
So I guess for me would probably, I mean, if you know me, then you would know this, but a lot of people now with the car culture don't really or the car scene don't know me from this, but I used to really, really, really want to be a rapper, and I like was all in that, man. I did a couple shows and everything, and then I just
Really?
rapping don't pay the bills.
I hear you. Hey, well, should we might we act?
I was
Oh,
a semi-professional skateboarder for a while too.
okay. That's crazy. That takes me back, man, because I've never been a skateboarder per se, but it's like the same with musicians.
Right.
I have a lot of friends who are musicians. You guys mentioned tattoo artists. I got several myself, but I'm friends with tattoo artists and just local bands. But growing up, it was the same thing. Of course, I had a skateboard and I was listening to the Suicidal Tendencies and the Anthraxes back in the day, and so it was just kind of went with that scene, if you want to, if you will, and and so it's just kind of just I looked the part, but I was never really the an actual skateboarder, so
Right.
wore the Vans, had the skateboard, and tried to pose back in the day, but the best I can do is maybe like I think I pulled off a 360 once. I can walk it and things like that, but
Nice.
nothing. I could never flip it or anything like that. Same thing with bikes. I could do your basic stuff, but I wasn't really a someone who can do a lot of tricks on it. But
Right.
yeah, just trying to get along with whoever I can get along with, man. That's the way I've been my whole life. But guys, I wanted to say thank you for just taking some time out of your busy schedule to hop on this live stream. I hope that maybe there were some people that were listening that I had some messages that I didn't even respond to that hopefully there was someone out there that tuned in that maybe can, maybe make a donation, or maybe they're new to town and are looking for a car club to join, things like that.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's a coffee shop or a local restaurant or food truck that wants you guys to come set up over there so that you can have another location to set up. But
Absolutely.
other than that, man, that's really it. Thank you for your time and putting up with me for a few minutes. And is there anything that maybe we didn't discuss that you guys want to throw out? I know we didn't even say what time the car show is on this month. I know it's towards the end of the month from 5 to 9. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention about the car show?
Yeah. Real quick, I do want to thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to have us. This has been awesome to be able to converse about it and be able to kind of get the word out and expand to both demographics. Hopefully, some of our guys now know you. I know you've done some vinyl work for some of the people out in the club. So if these guys want custom made decals and stuff, they should come see you, man. Get taken care of. But yeah, as far as the show's from 5 to 9. Registration starts at 3 p.m. Pre-registration ends day of. So if you want that pre-registration price of 25, register before the day of the event. We can register you at the event if you're unable to do it online. I know some people don't like to deal with all that, so y'all can show up to the event, get registered there. We're going to have a base contest that is included with your registration, so there's no extra fee for the base contest. It'll be sponsored and hosted by Audio Magic. They're going to have, I think, 5 different classes. We have a ton of classes, everything from modern cars, classic cars, muscle cars, even clapped out cars like my daily. We've got a class for that. We literally have a class for cars that are like kind of junky, but it's like it's a project or it's under construction. We have cash prizes for the Rev Battle, for the Car Limbo. Hopefully this year, if time works, we're going to be able to do a crowd voted base battle as well. We've got cash prizes for Best in Show. All of our trophies are handmade for the actual trophies. And actually, the plaques are handmade from a guy locally, too. So we've got awesome handmade trophies going out. We've got a bunch of classes. We've got some cash prizes. There's going to be awesome food trucks. There's going to be some Filipino food, Mexican food, home style barbecue. We've got different snow cones and lemonades and sweets. Not too much on the vendors this year, but we do have a few vendors that'll be out there as well, selling some car freshies and things like that. So, but other than that, big shout out to the show. Thank you to everybody who's been coming and been supporting for the past few years. We really look forward to having you out again this year, and we hope that we can continue to put on an amazing event for the community of Abilene.
That's awesome. And so, for anybody that wants to connect with you online, what are your social media channels that they can connect with you on? Are you on all of them, or you just post on one or two?
So we do.
I'm still on MySpace. That's how I met my wife.
So our Instagram is at Not Included Car Club. Our Facebook is Not Included Car Club. We do have a Snapchat as well it's Not Included Car Club, or at Not Included or Not Included Club. Sam, it's not Included Club on Snapchat. Our YouTube, we have been consistently dropping videos every other Sunday for you guys. That'll be on our YouTube at Not Included Car Club as well. This month will be a little bit sparse on the videos because we're focused on the show, but we'll be right back to our normal every other Sunday schedule after this event.
I look forward to that. I'm going to connect with all of those. We're also on all those channels, but I'm going to connect with you guys. And maybe next year, man, I'm going to roll up in there with the Corolla. If you guys got a class for the Corolla, I'm going to come in there with the 2013 Corolla. Maybe I'll have it wrapped by then.
Do it. I actually really do like those body styles. I've been telling my girl all the time I want one and I want to slam it like my other cars. They just look so sporty to me.
Yeah, it's been a good car, man. So it's about time to do something with it. I use it just as my daily driver now, but I mean it needs a purpose.
Yeah.
So maybe that can be it. But guys, I just want to say thank you once again, and anything that you guys that you post, I'm going to share it, and I'm part of your Facebook group and things like that. So I don't do a lot of posting on other people's pages like that, but if I see something that you're promoting, I try to share it and things like that. And I wanted to make actually a more of a real connection and not just be like a spam type person, just, trying to sell something to people that I don't even know. I really don't like doing that. But yeah, thank you for your time, guys. You guys have a good evening. We're gonna sign off for tonight, and I'll be talking to you guys here in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.